how do governments, especially governments of the developed economies and let's say organizations like World Economic Forum can ensure that the benefits or the dividends of the emerging technologies are available equitably to even emerging economies and countries?
This is a crucial question. The concept of the intelligent age, you articulated it very nicely now, because it is not one technology, a whole sets of technologies that are exponentially going to market and changing industry and society. And going back to the notion of agency, how do we, as civil society players, as governmental players, of course business as well, how do we have a sufficient agency in shaping how these technologies actually pan out? And so you may be familiar, there's a term agile governance. It's been around, particularly in tech circles, for some time, but in our view, that's actually the time right now to really think through, are we equipped, and if we talk specifically about governments, are governments equipped right now with the resources, but also with the mindsets and the procedures to be able to really be on the front foot and shape this? And of course, the other complication we have is that you are seeing in this fragmented world that there is a risk that certain technologies, and we're already seeing it playing out, are actually considered to be more a vector of competition.
Correct.
Trying to get supremacy. Some people are using the word supremacy in terms of certain technologies. And so, of course, that is also something that maybe certain instincts are there, but how are we nuanced enough around this? And how can we maintain a sense of agency in this environment? And just to say one last thing on this, it is tough, but at the same time, we saw what happened at the United Nations in September with that UN initiative around, at least, for example, do the first installment, which is this scientific body that they got agreement on from all nations, scientific body that can tell us what is the state of AI, so that at least we have certain, hopefully, objective data to be based upon. But it is, of course, going to be hard work. And again, back to the point of how do we reimagine cooperation, multilateralism for the 21st century.
Right. Mirek, also, I mean, India remains the fastest growing large economy in the world at this point. In a fragmented sort of economic world right now that we are witnessing, what is your expectation from a large economy like India? What role it can play to increase collaborative efforts as far as global economic development is concerned?
I think powers like India play a very important role because we, as someone else puts it, we have multipolarity. I mean, that's, I think everyone would agree that we have that. And again, the muscle of multilateralism, the architecture is maybe not as strong or as equipped. And it is really through actors like India that can actually, right now, it's a perfect time to actually be creative together and also show leadership in terms of, okay, what kind of collaboration do we need? And obviously, with the size of the economy of India and the diplomatic heft, it is actually a pivotal time for countries and powers like India to be able to shape the future of multilateralism, and they're doing it. And we are seeing, of course, a lot of new configurations emerging. Of course, we're seeing BRICS also growing, but all kinds of new configurations emerging. Also, at least some would say that we should look at some cases of regional collaboration. And if we take Africa, for example, we have the African Free Trade Continental Area, which shows a huge promise. We're seeing great momentum in ASEAN. And so it's also looking at possible archetypes in regions that can then help with restarting some of that muscle that we need for collaboration going forward.